Right to left, James Preston and Joe Wright to bring you all the action here in this men's 30s competition as straight away Sweden go forward here through Toya. Toya bouncing around about 10 metres away from the line here from the Spanish defensive metal as they come back here to this right-hand side. Toya dropping it down. Now Kapu Sami nearly getting through and a bit of a nervy start there for Sweden, unable to conjure up anything on the last.
Yeah, it's tough from Sweden. It's just a bit of a roll ball infringement. Hips not square at the ruck. Had a couple touches to play with. So early doors leaving some opportunities out there. Although there's another roll ball infringement. Again, get your bingo cards out.
So Spain turning that one over. And so both sides a little bit guilty of some early game nerves here, but still plenty of time to work with as Toya comes forward once more and just brings it shy of the halfway line. Setting out now here for run of Vac Amara Sami. And they're caught up along the sideline now. Fresh troops back onto the pitch here through Joseph Howard. And then once more operating through the middle, Lawrenson. Out wider still now for Morrissey. Morrissey drops it down quickly. Here's an opportunity now for Ragnarsson stepping off the right foot. Got very close. Last one here now for Sweden. Back to Ragnarsson. Dummies. Steps off the left. Straightens up. They've got the numbers there, Spain. There shouldn't be any issues here to contend with. And easy pickings in the end there for the Spanish defensive line.
Yeah, good opportunities there for Sweden. Looking to go down both link wing channels. But at the moment, really impressed by the Spanish defensive spacing. They're able to crowd out the Swedish attack rather simply.
So Spain now working away from their own end. Popping a little short ball here for Anate. Last one here, and they're really winning the field position battle here at the moment, Sweden. Spain have barely been in enemy territory, and they've lost track of the touch count too. That is a real coach killer.
Yeah, it's one of those where you need the barking orders from the wingers to let you know what touch count is going. And at the moment, Sweden rolling through their sub move pretty straightforward. And Spain lacking a bit of line speed.
So Ragnarsson brought it forward and then headed to the sideline. Good footwork here as well. Coming in from Rapon. And now he'll be forced to head back to this right-hand side on the follow-up. Last play here. They'll send it out to that left-hand side. Dalton, nice big pass. Looping over the top. Nearly finding an opening, but certainly Sweden looking the better of the two at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting the more field position, and they look like they're trying to take the ball really close to the line and then whip it expansive. There could have been a roll ball infringement there, but the ref just says take the touch again. So Spain at the moment yet to find their feet in this affair.
Very lateral here from Spain. They haven't got too much in the way of a drive working so far. That's a bit better. Popping a pass up late at the line, and then a nice straight charge here as well from San Roman Martin. As now they head to the middle of the field. Their best set thus far, Spain, and they take off once more through the middle. Here comes the flick pass. That's expansive from the Spanish, and the Bulls were nearly having the horns out there against Sweden.
Oh, it was a lovely transition and really nice movement out the back pass switch, and they'd exposed the 2-on-1. That ball to the link was just a little bit too low. But I mean, at the moment, Spain have had one good opportunity to attack and were millimeters away from making it stick.
So that means that there is a little bit of hope here for Spain, despite the early pressure here and all the field position going the way of Sweden. If they can get an opportunity down this end of the field, which is forming here in this set, could be anything up for grabs. There's now fresh troops onto the pitch here, including Orsina Murray. Won't quite arrive that far, though. Instead, it's here for Ruben Martinez-Cavello. Martinez-Cavello once more having a look at them. Oh, Martinez-Cavello getting very close. For a moment there, I thought he did enough to get underneath the waiting arms there of Nicholas Law, but he was a law unto himself.
Yeah, and again, Spain really threatening when they do get opportunities at the line. And Sweden with a good opportunity to sort of roll through their subset, try and get the fresh legs on. They're starting to fall apart a little bit static. That could have been off the mark, but if not for a penalty, a foot in the ruck. So Sweden with a fresh set of 6 now.
So perhaps a lucky call there for Sweden. Still in the early exchanges of this match, around about 5 minutes gone as they continue promoting the footy outfield here and crossing that halfway threshold. Spain retreating in defence. They're all backpedaling at the moment here. So a good little roll on for Sweden now as Ragnarsson rolls it down and then takes off once more here. Ragnarsson drops it just shy of the 7. Building now for Sweden. Over into the length. They'll pop a pass around the corner. Oh, nearly an awkward collision there for Sweden. Anything could have happened, and they're probably lucky in the end there wasn't a head clash.
Yeah, definitely. It seemed like there was two players both running the same hole. I wondered there for Sweden if they could have given the release of the rooster a little bit earlier to allow a bit more space, and there was definitely a 3-on-2 opportunity for Sweden. So both sides really testing the line when they get there.
Anate off now for Tulo. Tulo shows it once out on that right hand, and now picked up and scooped here from Masno. Masno looking for a ball around the corner. Great one, in fact. Anate now sends it wider still. And Spain, when they do get an opportunity here, they're looking quite creative. So chances building as Sweden work it away from their own end now. Very laterally, though, looking to head across that subs box, but they're perhaps a little bit too eager there, and the ball comes free.
Yeah, and this is where I'll be really eager to see if Spain can use a full set of 6 effectively, make Sweden defend the maximum. Because like you say, when they get there, they look threatening, but they've not been able to force any turnovers. Although, what a touch from Ragnarsson, the most patriotic name I think we've got in the Touch World Cup. Looks like a Viking, sounds like a Viking, probably is a Viking.
Well, certainly playing like a Viking right now. That was a fierce touch from Ragnarsson as up towards halfway Sweden go. Nice drive about this set. The flow is there and momentum continuing to build all. That's just going to quell it a little bit, though. Just overstepping the mark, and now heading a little bit too sideways. Easy pickings there for Anate. Now they get back on the horse. The flick pass comes out and right on the money there. Spain marking up, but better work there from Sweden towards the end of that set. A little bit of confusion here as well for the Swedes, but turnover is the call.
Yeah, and again, Sweden, touches 1 and 2 on their transition was perfect, but as you called it, that third touch just took all momentum out of their transition, allowed Spain to sort out their defensive spacing as they look to play around the shooters of Sweden. Oh, really good touch.
Stepping up quickly here. Oh, nice little cycle of the ball from San Roman Martin. Back there for Gonzalez Madrid. Talking about very, very proud names there. Gonzalez Madrid doesn't get much more Spanish than that as up they pick up now and sending wide. Bit of work to do for the Swedes to slide across. Play on for now, but there is the turnover in favour of Sweden. Now they'll look to march upfield here. Oh, strong touch coming in as well there from Roman Martin. Out towards this left-hand side. Spinning as he was caught there was Joseph Howard. And then back on the mark comes Pascal Rapon. That goes to ground as well, and then a nice little shimmy and shake, and away they go. Toya now puts down the foot, but he's out of acting half.
Yeah, once again, Sweden, it's that third touch for me. You're just losing all that momentum. I'd really like to see if they can predict those touches a bit better as Spain now look to go expansive and get their own subs on, trucking up the box side.
Roman Martin with a nice little ruck up the middle of the field there. And now still hovering down this left-hand touchline at the moment. They'll look for numbers back towards the middle here for Soprani. And Soprani still floating here in that left wing position. Bulnes Soprani now with a nice little undersline. Well, had they hit him, Bulnes Soprani was in oodles of space and would have gone over untouched, but Spain didn't see it on that occasion. Still a little bit to see off, though, here for Sweden. They'll slow things down on this particular play, but they've probably once more lost track of the count there. I think they were working for a strike dump, not realising it was the last.
Yeah, definitely, and exactly as you call it, the unders line was definitely the right option. Spain seems to find most of their success off the back of the switches, but just it's not quite clicking at the moment, and Sweden are able to number up quite comfortably and see it out.
So Sweden now, once more with a nice drive upfield. They've definitely been the more dominant of the two sides in that department. As now they look to change the pace, dumbing left, right and centre there. It was Eshan Deltari. And now out it comes here for Lawrenson. Lawrenson floating a pass there for Ragnarsson, and the two sons nearly combined and produced a new try. Not a baby boy. Would have been a ball across the line. And there's an error for Spain right on their own 7. So now Sweden can try and go quickly. They just have to release the ball, but they've done enough here. Spain trying to predict what was coming next. And a big dummy comes out from Hamish Lawrenson, and he's probably lucky to get away with that one, though.
Yeah, definitely. 3-on-1. Rather selfish of the Swede going himself, but I mean, if it works, you can't have any complaints. But I'll tell you what, if that touch came in, he had two very angry Swedes outside of him.
Would have been some choice words at halftime, I'm sure. Had that one not come off there for Lawrenson, as now Spain drives it forward here with Masno. Out here for Anate. Anate turns it back towards the middle here for Osorio. Sorio waiting and acting half. Won't get a chance to go. Sweden have an easy turnover here, and now they can roll upfield and also head towards the sideline to get those fresh troops on the pitch. Bit of a slow roll ball there, though, and Spain now jamming in, just trying to hem them into that corner area near the box. And 4 plays down, they've done a pretty good job of things. Toya floating a pass over the top. Just tantalisingly hovering in the air for a moment there for Spain. And that is now the last here for Sweden. Back to Toya. Toya with a stutter step. Oh, then the goosey. And now how about the footwork here from Toya? Stops on a dime once more. For a moment, I thought he did enough to get around Tulo, but he looked like a kangaroo out there jumping around.
Yeah, and again, Sweden are able to expose the 3-on-2, but just not using their hands to get it there. And so he did all the hard work, just had to release. Doesn't. And another opportunity for Sweden goes begging.
Short side right here for Spain. And now picked up from Roman Martin, and touch coming in. Well done there, because Monero was looking to set sail for the line, but they've worked another short side right here. Toya coming across and then slapped down there in the end from Sean Morrissey. Makes a good read. Spain still have a little bit of pressure here on the Swedish line.
Yeah, and it'd be really interesting to see if they can now use these set of 6 effectively. We saw earlier a little bit disjointed, losing track of the touch count. Let's hope they've learned from their mistakes. Swipe touch, not made. Let's see if they can have a couple cracks at the line.
Working through the middle here, Spain gets the quick touchdown, and now back towards that right-hand side. Not a bad play. Spain collapsing quickly. They just made the touch in time, and the score remains at 1-0. And you can just see there, Spain, well, they thought for all money they were across the line. And that will wear out the legs a little bit more as well. Going to collect the ball there, unfortunately, for Torne Ultraran.
Yeah, it seemed like one of those instances where he was so adamant he scored. He's like, let's see if we can convince the ref by throwing the ball back to the centre field. Not quite happening for him. Still 3 touches to use.
I wonder if he'll try the same tactic once again. Just try and sell a dummy to the referee on this case. And once more, oh, Torre Ultraran with the flick pass. Well, that's a specialty. Spain must know they're on the live stream, because they've produced one of the most magical plays of the World Cup so far.
Oh, and it's a beauty of a switch out the back. No looker. Any superlatives you want to use are applicable. And it's 1 try apiece. And Spain, when they get there, definitely not lacking in flair.
So Torne Ultraran setting Highfield Sporting Complex alight here. What a try for the Spanish. 1 apiece here in the men's 30 division, as now they come forward here through Lawrenson. 1 try already for Sweden. Driving forward here is Ragnarsson. You can see the Swedish flag in the background as well. A lot of support here as well at Highfields 5. It's now Ragnarsson, option back to the middle. They don't go that far. They'll hit Lawrenson instead. And there is the try. So here's the turnover now in favour of Spain. All locked up here as we approach that halfway point. Strong touch too there from Sweden, jamming in. Oh, nice cycling of the footy here, and they keep driving forward. Meters now for Spain. They finally clicked into gear here. That try has energised them. Up over halfway they come. Anate now switching on here for Tulo. Flat pass there from Osorio. In fact, it's going to be more than flat. There we go. Off the mark indeed it is. And I think that was ultimately a case of just trying to reel that pass in. They never really got stopped in motion.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, as you call it again, the Spanish momentum is beautiful up this box side. I just like to see a little bit more care taken over possession when they get into touches 4 and 5. Give yourself a real good opportunity to strike. At the moment, Sweden have a really good opportunity themselves to take an early lead.
So Rapon, and then promoting it further here for Dalton. They've got the numbers, Sweden, but Spain somehow do enough to stop that raid down a skinny short side. Dalton flinging it back here for Rapon. Now played from Morrissey. Morrissey gets it back, or driving forward once more. An error here in good field position from Sweden. They've been guilty of that a little bit in the past 5 minutes. It's now Anate. Restarts it here for Spain. Working upfield. Short balls here. Anate receives it once more. Plays it quickly. Back into the action, and once more really utilising this short side very well here, Spain. As it's sent back towards the middle again. Jamming in there for a big touch here. A little bit too much on that occasion from Jackson Dalton. He's pinged there from the referees. And so Spain with a good spot to start this new set once more. And that danger man's out there again. Torne Ultraran. Tornay Ultraran once more, drops it down. Bouncing around, looking for an opening here. Gives it back for Venner. Venner, patient in the build-up. Back to Tornay Ultraran. Tornay Ultraran once more, had to hit wide, completely unmarked. That is a try gone begging for the Spanish. They still have a couple of looks at the line though. It's Tornay Ultraran once more, brings it forward. This time it's the last, goes away from that right-hand side again, floats it out wide. Oh, a little pop pass, a chance here for the Spanish. Have they done enough here, the Swedes? Yes, they have.
Yeah, once again, Spain leaving a couple of opportunities out there. The ball was definitely on the phase earlier to the outer edge, and they look to whip it back the near side. And Sweden really good at chasing that covering touch. But once again, Spain doing good work, just not capitalising on their momentum.
So Sweden up towards halfway now and then really changing direction there when perhaps they didn't need to. Probably lost a little bit of ground on that occasion as Toya now gets up over halfway. We know he's got the dancing feet. Hops in at acting half. Bouncing around once more, but Sweden, that's probably 3 or 4 sets in a row where it's come unstuck with an unforced error.
Yeah, on that occasion, a hard touch, rolling into the touch with the shoulder. No care. And unfortunately, as you say, the momentum of this game's really changed from a Swedish perspective. Sweden were definitely in the ascendancy, and Spain, through this short side transition, have found their feet.
Well, that's the blueprint here for Spain. It's all down the short side. They've really not looked to be too expansive with things. It's just been a case of quick passing in a little short distance. And last one now once more. They'll turn it back to the inside here for Osina Murray. Osina Murray sending it wide, but Sweden seem to have their measure on the fringes. It's more a case of a lot of welcome room when they're working away from their own end, but not so much when they get down into that 7-metre area.
Yeah, and for me, it comes from a lack of conditioning of the midfield. So Spain, whenever they get into the red zone, look to go wide immediately. So Sweden are able to just number up and send the winger out. What I'd like to see them do is hammer a couple touches up the middle, condense the defence, then use those slick hands that you've got to go around the outside.
So dummy coming in here for Masno, and Masno now provides here for Osorio. Osorio in at acting half, taking off here. Osorio, drops a little pass. Back on the inside, the idea was right, but the line wasn't followed through with the supporting run. And strong contact there as well. Bouncing out of it was Iram Felipe Pinto Donate. And now up towards halfway they come. Once more, pressure building here from the Spanish defence, flying out of the line, halting that momentum for Sweden, who come on the charge here through Scrooby. And now Lawrenson, beating a couple of defenders on the last here. They're backpedaling Spain. Chance here for Lawrenson. Oh no, once more he's gone away from the support. Sends it wide eventually, but Lawrenson, probably the second time he's been guilty of not giving it early when he really had to.
Yeah, definitely. There was a couple errors in there for me from Sweden. First of all, trying to play around too many people when fifth is coming. You just want to get that clean strike dumped down to give your team the platform to go forward. And then, as you say, not using those hands, stepping back a little bit too much. And we'd like to see them play a little bit more expansive. I mean, it's perfect conditions. Throw the ball around a bit more.
Yeah, lovely sunny conditions here today in Nottingham. It's been very warm. That pass close to Ford. Let go for now as the touch comes in. And I think there might be a late call here for that forward pass, and that is the correct call.
Yeah, definitely. If it wasn't the first one, it was almost certainly the second one. Couple forward passes to choose from the referee, but again, you see the Spanish blueprint. They look to really condition this short side and try and go open afterwards. It's just those hands and the little execution bits that are lacking at the moment from the Spanish side.
Ragnarsson just put his full body weight into the much smaller Spanish defender. It was like watching a bulldozer run over a little signpost there, but somehow it's going to go the way of Sweden. I'm not sure what Spain could have done on that occasion. I know we're used to the running of the bulls, but they didn't expect it to come in the form of Ragnarsson. Now the dummy comes in once more here. Well, that is comical almost. I don't know how Sweden have come away with the ball there. Out to this right-hand side, they'll drop it down. Now Morrissey, short play and then wrapping around. That's lovely work from Morrissey. Pops it over the top. Sweden with a great try here. Put it down to the work of Sean Morrissey, who summed up the situation to perfection.
Oh, and it's a beautiful little disguise wrap, a hard line, so the link hits the hard line, middle fading out the back, expose the 2-on-1, and they're able to suck both of the Spanish defenders in and whip out to the back, and what a way to finish this first half from Sweden.
Worth pointing out too, perhaps they shouldn't have even had the ball there. Ragnarsson just steamrolling a Spanish defender, but given an extra set to work with.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that call went the way of Sweden, to be honest. It was one of those where you either call it 6 of one, half dozen of the other, take the roll ball on 4th touch, 5th coming, or do nothing about it. And at the man, I spent a couple moments giggling to myself because it was a real size mismatch.
Well, he's got the body shape of a Viking, the last name of a Viking, and with a charge like that, acting like one as well, he declared war on Spain, and certainly the battle is on. At the break here, Sweden leading Spain 2-1. Asamoah, right? And he was like, oh. Welcome back here to Nottingham for the second half of this men's 30s division. Sweden and Spain with a hard-fought contest so far. Sweden with a slender lead, 2-1. They scored just before the break, but Spain have shown, and once they get rolling, they can really cause a few headaches here for Sweden. Their short side raids, and quick interchange of passing up against a bit more of a physical game here from Sweden so far. So they drive forward and are now caught around about 7 or 8 metres away from that 7-metre line into enemy territory. So Toya stepping up. Oh, and they've just passed it directly to him. Spain, with a moment they would like to forget there. Toya was just standing still like a statue, and all of a sudden delivered into the breadbasket. So up over halfway, Sweden go now. Meters on offer here for Morrissey, who set up that last try for them. So now out it comes here for Ragnarsson. Lawrenson drops it down. Ragnarsson through the middle. Not really fooling anyone with those dummies, and he's lost track of the touch count. And that is not the finish they wanted there to the end of that set.
No, definitely, but some would argue that they didn't even deserve to have the possession in the first place. I think Spain get away with one there. And again, they look to go down the short side, but that'll be a loss of control at the ruck. So Sweden, essentially, will have a tap off themselves.
So, Vako Amara Sami onto the field now, and Ragnarsson drops it forward. And speaking of drop, I thought he let that one go. Geez, he's got a few beneficial calls here, Ragnarsson. He's a big body, and he's utilising his weight, but he just seems to keep getting the rub of the green here. Maybe they're all scared of the Viking. The referees don't want to call it. They'll roll it back towards the middle now. Rapon bouncing around. Out here for Morrissey. Quick release, Morrissey stepping up, and now they've got a little latch looming in the background. Oh, it was on there for young and old. If they could have found the pass for Dalton, it's looking really good there for Sweden. Now turn away from Dalton once again. He's going to catch a cold at this rate. Now drop it down now. Dalton's sweeping once more. They don't utilise him. So Dalton's created multiple opportunities in that set, and they just wouldn't give him the ball.
Yeah, for me it was the first one where he was almost run a passive link line out the back. Deserved to have the ball. He'd created all the space in the world. But Sweden get the turnover. And Dalton, well, hopefully he'll be used this time because he seems to be the one running the lines off the ball.
Let's keep a close eye here on number 16, Jackson Dalton. Waiting here in this left link position. Rapon receives it back now and takes some easy meters on offer. Now for Dalton. And Spain not stepping up the required distance. And Arte has the arms outstretched asking why, but there's your answer. It's Dalton. Drops it back down. Heads out towards that right-hand side and then turns it back here for Rapon. Slow, patient build-up here from Sweden. Dalton brings it forward, drops it down quickly. Little juggle, then floating long. Oh, great pass there from Kapu Sami, who put it on an absolute pinhead.
Yeah, and that's what we call a sinker in the corner. Lovely height on the ball, just dying and left to right, 25 yards. And Sweden, when they get the opportunities, they do make them count. And from a Spanish perspective, we just need to fix these small, unforced errors. Stop coughing the ball up to Sweden, because they will make it pay.
So Spain now with a little bit of work to do here. Sweden leading 3-1. Still pretty early days in this one, though. Only about 5 minutes gone here in the second half. As they'll wrap around now through the run of Monero. Monero really putting on the afterburners and getting all the way through. Well, Daniel Monero, more like a Holden Monaro.
It's a beautiful heads-up play. Here's the call of offside, plays through, diving at the line, and it's well received by the Spanish sub-box. And they do cut the deficit back down to 1, and they're going to need more plays like that if they want to stay in this affair.
So 3-2 here, Spain reducing the deficit, and that is certainly what the doctor ordered straight away. Sweden gifting possession back here to Spain as they go on the attack now through Blanco Francis. And then just on the second play, Spain themselves will dish it back over here to Sweden.
Yeah, and it's sort of a battle of the unforced turnovers at the moment. That could have been one as well for the roll ball, but the referees are feeling generous on this, well, day 4 evening. I think the refs just didn't want to go and transition back over to the other side, to be honest. But Sweden will look to make the most of this field position. It's been largely gifted to them by the Spanish side.
Once more, a very dodgy play, the ball there let go as Dalton gets back on the field, so he's the man to watch. This time sweeping around, they do use him, but Dalton's hands let him down and the ball goes to ground on play 3. Both teams just needing to calm down a little here. It's been a frenetic opening to this second half. A couple of tries in it. but also a whole lot of errors as well. As Spain sweep it out to this left-hand side, then straighten up. Nice quick pick up there from Osorio. And now Osorio guiding through the middle, playing through who he believed to be an offside support player in defence there for Sweden. And I wasn't 100% sure he ever got back to the mark. So perhaps a little bit lucky there, Sweden once more.
Yeah, definitely, and I completely agree with you. It looked like he was a couple of metres off, but also from a Spanish perspective, that was fourth. You had another touch to play with, so if you're in doubt, check that ball off, get the roll on, because they were largely behind all 6 of those Swedish defenders. The try line was at their beckoning.
So Sweden now up over halfway. Good movement here from Morrissey as Toya gets it on the last. Toya, does he know? No, once more he's lost track of the count, and he's also lost track of his footing here. Toya with a couple of seconds he'd wish never happened, especially on the live stream.
Oh, definitely, and it's not one you'd like to watch back. We'll gloss over that, but Sweden inject some real pace coming off the box, but they've never really got any touches to play with off the back of their transition. You compare that to Spain. Look at the directness coming up the short side.
San Roman Martin was just firing off so much communication there, and once more he goes down this short side, pops a little pass. He's got plenty of intent about his work here, so that's only play number 4 here. San Roman Martin hopping in at acting half, sends it out now for Venner. Venner bouncing around, brings it forward. Last one now here for Spain. Torne Ultraran once more looking for that little trick play. Can't find it on this occasion. We certainly know he can be a creative force out there.
Yeah, and for me, it's the lines off the ball were run way too shallow, so you never really had any options for the pass. Also, I think the support was over this side of the pitch on the right edge rather than trying to run left. Sweden had numbered up really well, and another hard touch goes in Sweden's favour. I think they're really on the right side of the referees at the moment.
I can only put it down to the old Viking look here from Ragnarsson. They don't want to get into a war with him. Here he is now. He's a man mountain towering forward over them. Reminiscent of the Hound in Game of Thrones. So they'll drop it down here once more. Ragnarsson picks it up, and now they scoot here through Scrooby. Scrooby once more looking dangerous. Back to Ragnarsson. Pops a pass. No, it's already caught here. But the initial indiscretion is offside, and yeah, Spain really haven't been getting these 50-50 calls. It's Ragnarsson. Dummies to the middle. Rolls it back here. Now to Lawrenson. And wider still now for Howard. Back here once more for Scrooby. Ragnarsson picks it up like a little lemon in his hand. Pops the flick pass. Spain up in the passing channel. Good skill there from the big man Ragnarsson.
Tell you what, he may be 7 foot, but he's got hands, and there's a lovely little drop off. And that's another hard touch. And apparently, if you want hard touch calls, you just need to be 7 foot and probably 140 kilo.
There's an issue here, though, for Lawrenson, though. Has scored a try already, and I think one of these players here for Spain has been sent to the sidelines as well. So they'll play with a man down here from that forceful touch. I'm not sure how much of that was the actual contact itself and how much of that was a response to the injury here to Lawrenson.
Yeah, I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B in that respect, because there didn't seem to be all that much force. But I think it's the product of the touch which has got him sent for time.
So now Sweden with an extra man to utilise here. Send it long. Spain up in the channel. Get a play at the ball and knock it down. 3-2. This is a crucial period here. Now, it's not going to happen straight away for them. Getting the full complement back on deck. So still 6-on-5 here in favour of Sweden. They've got to hold out for a couple more sets. Dropping down. Now Dalton leaves it behind. And Spain are about halfway through this period with a man down.
Yeah, and it was really good setup there from Sweden. They looked to run the sweeper plate and step back against the grain where they had the overlap. But the hands off the floor just were left wanting. And Spain, so I don't believe it was sent for time. It must have been sent for the possession because they're back up to 6.
So full complement back on deck here for Spain. They must hold out, though. It's a low-scoring affair, and Toya with one of the more interesting dummies there. It was almost like he was gifting the ball back to them. And as it turns out, that is what happens here. Spain have it. There's been some interesting plays here from both teams. This is some of the joy of the World Cup, though. You get to see a very different play style from some of our lesser-known nations.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, as we're talking about different play styles, I think the one for me that stands out is the Middle Eastern touch team. It is controlled chaos at the best of times. It is absolute manic switches all over the gaff, no real structure, but they score. And it almost goes back to, you know, if the opposition don't know what you're doing, they can't defend it.
So now Spain working out to this wide position here. Popping a little pass back to the middle as Sweden step up. Making contact here with Martinez Cavello. Martinez Cavello at first receiver. Tracking across to the middle of the field here. Little dummy popping in. And now out in here for Bonus Soprani. Oh, and that one is a very awkward play. The ball, it's more than awkward. It's atrocious from Spain, and there is the turnover.
Yeah, and again, it's these unforced errors that are really killing Spain's opportunities on the line of attack. And just as we're saying about unforced errors, Sweden produced one of their own. And with this game being so closely run at the moment, for me, it's going to come down to which team can control these errors the best, because there's just too many on this field at the moment.
So inside the final 10 minutes here, as it's rolled back here for Martinez Cavello. Martinez Cavello out towards the middle of the field. Pops it back once more, receives it. Got a staggered defensive line. They'll change the emphasis here, and then taking off is Bonus Soprani. Bonus Soprani once more. Nowhere to go for him. They'll step up and make the touch. Good pressure there from Sweden. Playing this one about 10 metres away from the line. Last one here for Spain. Nice one-handed pickup right to the line. Oh, good opportunity here for Martinez Cavello, who gets to ground. A lovely draw and pass from Spain, and we're all locked up at 3 tries apiece.
Oh, it's a lovely little drop-off into space, and I love the celebration as he gets the ball down, slamming the turf to let the ref know, no, that ball is down, and he's always swarmed as he comes into the sub-box. We're in for a really tight end to this second half.
It's a lovely work there from Spain. All locked up now. 3 tries apiece, and time beginning to run out. Ragnarsson brings it forward. Heading back out towards that right-hand side. He's been involved in everything here, Ragnarsson. Good and bad, for that matter. And speak of the devil, there's the bat.
Yeah, he's one of those where almost expected the touch initially, didn't come, and then was always sort of waiting for that touch to be initiated, overstepping the mark and losing control. And Spain finding some success. Unfortunately, curse the commentators, well and truly alive on day 4. Forward pass.
And that one was an obvious one too, right in front of the sideline official. That was never going to be one they could get away with. Is now Sweden straighten up here through Kapu Sami, and that one well and truly had a bit of extra spice about it. That might be a bit of payback for Ragnarsson's efforts in the first half. For a moment there, I thought there might have been a bit more action, and certainly San Roman Martin was a little bit scared momentarily of the referee's call, but he'll stay on the field, and he's still got the hands up here. It's okay, San Roman Martin. You can relax now. Toya tries to link up through the middle, and Spain simply slap it down. So I'll restart things here with a fresh set, around about 7 away. Toya out here for Deldari. Deldari taking off, turns it back inside here for Toya with the big dummy, then the pirouette. Oh, a couple of pirouettes too. Fancy moves from Toya. Well, it's very sunny here, but that looked like he was dancing in the rain. Fred Astaire, eat your heart out. Toya calling more supporters back to this left-hand side. Stops on the run. Assesses what's in front of him. Deldari plays it down. Toya now, once more, great footwork. Looking to go long here. Toya floating a pass over the top. Basketball style back on the inside, and there was half an opportunity there.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for the tap back. It just seemed like Sweden couldn't get the ball out of this corner, no matter how much they tried. And it's the little 1%ers. The half's just not there quick enough. The support isn't close enough. And Spain are once again let off the hook.
So we'll try and give you an update as well about how this one has a bearing for qualifying finals, because it's very close at the moment here, this contest. 3 tries apiece and time running out in the men's 30 division, and once more Spain guilty of a forward pass. And great field position here again for Sweden, but they've had a lot of time down this end of the field. And they'll get another set here. Played at the ball again from Spain. And they'll march forward because they'll say the initial problem was actually offside as opposed to The ball being slapped down. So now Nicholas Law sending it out to this right-hand side. Still an option in the middle. They've got Morrissey out there as well now. Oh, Law just skipped out into the arms of Toya instead. They're short on this left-hand side. Toya will take it himself. Gets down quickly. And the touch is made from Spain. It's clutch there from Pinto Donate. Back to the middle for Sweden. High drama here at Nottingham. Short ball for Law. Law sending it on now for Toya. Nowhere to go. Bouncing around. And that is a crucial coach killer there for Spain on the last. The coaching box are shaking their heads. They've given away a fresh set.
Yeah, and also as we were talking about how this game affects the pools, Spain are by and large already out of this affair, and Sweden need the win to overtake Canada in the standings, to overtake United States in the standings to put themselves in a position to go through to the quarterfinals date. So it really is do or die for Sweden on this game.
And they've responded straight away. Another try here for Sweden. They now take the lead 4-3. Spain playing for pride. And they're leaving nothing out on the pitch here. Short ball provided. The dummy came in. And unfortunately, Spain once more just easily handing over possession here for Sweden. So 10 shy of the halfway line. Outside of a couple of good tries here from Spain, they've turned over a lot of easy possession. And now Sweden once more marching forward. Reinforcements arriving as well. Good footwork here from Kapusami. Out for Dalton. And now here for Howard. Howard off the left foot. Anate there to meet him. Dalton once more. Looking fresh. Still an option through the middle, and they'll play a bit of a game of cat and mouse here with Lawrenson, who then pops it back on the inside for Howard. I think, if anything, Lawrenson actually confused the Spanish defence there. Here he is again now, Lawrenson, threatening to link up. And it's not from the playbook, if you will, there from Sweden, but still asking questions of the Spanish defensive line.
Yeah, it was a very unorthodox setup. They were looking to use the switches to create some space. I think they lost track of the touch count. I think they thought that they didn't have any touches to play with because it was accidentally a genius setup to get in behind the middles, and they didn't strike off the back of it. So leaving opportunities out here just through a lack of communication of where the touches are and where they're coming from.
Closing stages in this one here at Nottingham. San Roman Martin brings it forward. Pinto Donate now to the middle here for Venner. Venner slowing it down. Torne Ultraran back out there once more. They might need some more of his magic. Already produced one dazzling flick pass for a try. Torne Ultraran now once more. He looked to go for the flick once more. He might squeeze between two defenders though. The flick was actually on then.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't give it on that occasion. Feels like he wants to give it every other time, but not when it's applicable. But Spain still have a couple touches to play with to threaten the line.
Torne Ultraran on the last here. That's not the magic they need from him. That's dark magic, if anything. And it goes to ground. And time is beginning to run out here for Spain. So Sweden getting closer to potentially qualifying for the quarterfinals of this World Cup. What an exciting development for them, but not when you have issues like that. They just keep inviting Spain back into the contest here.
Yeah, and it seems like every time they have an opportunity to put Spain to bed, it's an unforced error that lets them back into the tie. And if you're a Spanish supporter right now, you're begging them to use all 6 touches, find some structure, attack directly.
Torne Ultraran once more going at the line. All good selection this time. Torne Ultraran, there's the magic we were talking about. And Spain level things up, and it's rapturous applause from the fans here. 4 tries apiece.
And for me, it's one of the first times in this game where Spain have just gone direct at the line and conditioned the Swedish defence to just commit. And it's the pace that and he wins the race for the Spanish player. And Sweden now really need to get another score on the board and stop these unforced errors. Oh, the ref's going to call play on. Bit lucky, see if they can capitalise.
Must have been just the slightest little sliver of a finger between the ball and the blade of grass as Toya now brings it forward, stepping off the right foot. Oh, Toya collapses quickly. What a clutch play from Brogan Toya, who puts Sweden back in front with minimal time remaining. 5-4 here in the men's 30s division, a game that Sweden must win.
Yeah, it is a must-win game for Sweden, and they're good value for it at the moment. They just need to see out the rest of this game with minimal mistakes, keep it nice and concise, and they should, touch wood, finish the winners.
Spain floating it wide, a chance to steal it at the death. Oh, what a touch that's made here from Sweden. They've saved the bacon. Selvakamara Sami got a touch right at the death, and if he didn't make that, Sweden's campaign was over. Spain kept coming until the final siren, and they nearly pulled it out of the fire. What a match here between Sweden and Spain.
Yeah, what an entertaining affair in the men's 30s. Spain playing for pride, Sweden playing for a position in the quarterfinals, and if results go their way on other pitches, they might have secured it.
So had to get the win. That was step number one here for Sweden, and they've done that. They now have a nervous wait for those other results. They'll be coming through shortly. But Sweden, they've done all they can now. The rest is in the hands of fate. Full time here on Highfields 5 in Nottingham for the Touch World Cup 2024 in the men's 30s division. Sweden victorious over Spain, 5-4.